Deep in the valleys of East Africa, a young woman sits before her elders. The fire crackles, drums echo in the distance, and soon, a razor-sharp thorn pierces her lip. A small clay disc is inserted, not a decoration, but a doorway into womanhood. As the years pass, the disc grows larger, stretching her lip until it can hold a plate wider than her face. To outsiders, this looks bizarre, even brutal. But to her people, it is honor, beauty, and strength carved into flesh. Why would anyone embrace such a tradition? Is it a mark of pride, a shield against slavery, or a mystery that still defies explanation? This is the story of the lip plate, one of the most fascinating, misunderstood, and powerful symbols of identity in African history. And today we're going to uncover its secrets. To truly understand the lip plate, we must leave behind the noise of modern cities and step into the remote Omo Valley of Ethiopia. Here, time feels different. The air is filled with the scent of burning wood, the sound of cattle bells, and the echo of ancestral songs. This is the home of the Mursi and the Surma, proud tribes who carry a tradition the outside world has long struggled to comprehend. To them, the lip plate is not just an ornament. It is a language, a statement, a symbol whispered across generations. Each plate tells a story of a girl's journey into womanhood, of a family's honor, and of beauty defined not by magazines or movies, but by the earth and the ancestors themselves. But how did this extraordinary tradition begin? And why has it survived for centuries, even as the world around it has tried to erase it? When a Mursi or Surma girl reaches her mid-teens, the moment arrives. It is a day whispered about since childhood, the day she begins her transformation. Elders gather, the fire burns, and with one decisive act, childhood is left behind. A thorn or sharp blade pierces the lower lip. At first, only a small hole is made, enough for a tiny disc of clay or wood. The pain is sharp, but fleeting, and for her, it is not shame, but pride. For she knows, this is the first step toward womanhood. Over the months, the disc is replaced again and again, each new plate larger than the last. Slowly, her lip stretches, transforming into a canvas that speaks louder than words. To her people, the size of the plate is a measure of courage, of beauty, of family honor. To outsiders, it may look extreme, but here in the Omo Valley, it is destiny unfolding before the eyes of ancestors. For the Mursi and Surma, a lip plate is more than clay and tradition. It is beauty redefined, honor made visible, and identity carved into flesh. In these tribes, beauty is not measured by painted faces, high heels, or glossy magazines. It is measured by resilience, by how wide the lip can stretch, by the courage it takes to endure the pain, by the pride that shines when the plate is worn. A woman with a larger plate is admired, seen as strong, desirable, and worthy of respect. But beauty is only the beginning. The plate is also a symbol of family honor. When a daughter wears it proudly, she carries the name of her lineage. For some, the size of the plate has even been linked to the wealth of her bride price, a cultural marker of value misunderstood by many outsiders. Others believe the lip plate is a shield of identity, a way of saying, we are not like the rest. We are Mursi. We are Surma. We are unbroken. It is a language spoken without words, a defiance that has survived centuries of change. And then there are the whispers of legend, that the lip plate began not as beauty, but as protection, a way to make women less appealing to slave traders during the darkest days of Africa's past. Truth, myth, or both? The answer still hides within the echo of tradition. When European explorers and missionaries first stumbled into the Omo Valley in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they were not prepared for what they saw. To them, the lip plate was shocking, uncivilized, even monstrous. They scribbled notes in journals, drew sketches, and sent back photographs that would define African culture in the Western imagination as something strange, something to be corrected. Missionaries preached against it. Colonial officers mocked it. Anthropologists debated it. And yet, through all the judgment and misunderstanding, the Mursi and Surma women kept wearing their plates, not in shame, but in defiance. The lip plate became more than beauty. It became resistance. Each plate was a silent challenge to the outside world. You may take our lands, you may draw your borders, but you will not erase who we are. Ironically, what colonials called barbaric soon became exotic. Their photographs of lip-plated women circulated in magazines and museums, sparking equal measures of horror and fascination in the West. To the Mursi, it was simply life. To the world, it was spectacle. And in that clash, a powerful truth emerged. The meaning of culture depends on who is telling the story. Ask 10 elders why the lip plate exists, and you may hear 10 different answers. Some say it is about beauty, others say it is about honor, but within the firelight stories of the Omo Valley, whispers of older truths remain. One legend claims the plates began as protection, a way to make women less appealing to slave raiders who once hunted these valleys. A stretched lip, they believed, would make the women undesirable, sparing them from capture. Was this survival disguised as beauty, or beauty disguised as survival? Another story speaks of the ancestors. The round plate, they say, mirrors the circle of life, birth, death, and rebirth. To wear it is to carry eternity itself, pressed against the body. And then there are those who link the lip plate to fertility. They say the plate amplifies a woman's strength as a mother, a nurturer, a life-giver. The larger the plate, the greater her symbolic power to continue the lineage. Of course, Western scholars dismiss some of these ideas as myth, preferring simpler explanations. But in the Omo Valley, myths are not discarded. They are woven into truth. For here, history is not written on paper. It is told in fire, sung in chants, and carved into clay. Centuries have passed since the first lip plate was pressed into soft skin. Yet even today, the tradition endures. In remote Ethiopian villages, young women still gather with quiet courage, preparing for the rite their mothers and grandmothers once bore. But now, the world is watching. Tourists arrive with cameras, snapping photos of women balancing plates as wide as dinner bowls. Anthropologists write papers, debating whether the lip plate is oppression or empowerment. The Western lens often sees only strangeness, but to the women who wear them, it is not a costume. It is a story carved into flesh, a living connection to ancestors who refused to vanish under the weight of slavery, colonialism, and change. Yet the legacy is complex. Some young women embrace the tradition proudly, others reject it, choosing education and new paths beyond their villages. The lip plate now sits at a crossroads, caught between cultural pride and a fast-changing modern world. So what will become of this ancient mark of beauty and defiance? Will it fade into history or transform into something new? The answer lies not in books, but in the hearts of those who continue to wear it or choose to lay it down. The lip plate did not remain hidden in the valleys of Ethiopia or the grasslands of Sudan. Like an echo, it traveled far, across oceans, into art galleries, fashion runways, and even inked into skin as tattoos. Designers in Paris and New York have reimagined its form in jewelry. Tattoo artists in London etch circles on lips and arms, inspired by a tradition they may never fully understand. But here lies the question: is this appreciation or appropriation? When a woman in the Omo Valley stretches her lip, she is carrying centuries of pain, pride, and survival. When a model wears a lip plate-inspired accessory on a runway, does it honor that story or erase it? Artists claim inspiration. Critics call it theft. The debate burns hotter with every photo shoot, every music video, every magazine cover that borrows the lip plate's power without its history. To some, it is a celebration of beauty across cultures. To others, it is a stripping away, taking the shell but abandoning the soul. And yet, this is the strange power of symbols. They cross borders, they evolve, they ignite arguments. A lip plate in a remote African village may mean honor. The same symbol in a tattoo parlor in Los Angeles may mean rebellion. One object, two worlds, colliding in meaning. So we ask, can a tradition be shared without being stolen? Can art honor without erasing? Or is the lip plate destined to live in two realities, sacred at home, controversial abroad? Step back for a moment. Look around the world. In the West, beauty might mean glossy lipstick, high heels, or hours spent under the glow of a tanning bed. In Asia, it might mean porcelain skin or delicate neck rings that stretch the body toward an ideal. And in Africa's valleys, it might mean a lip plate, a circle of clay or wood that tells a story only the community can read. But here's the question: who decides what is beautiful? Is beauty born in the mirror or in the culture that raised us? Do we truly choose, or are we shaped, molded, stretched by the hands of tradition, media, and history? To one person, a lip plate is strange, even shocking. To another, it is elegance, dignity, and pride. Neither is wrong, because beauty has never been universal. It is a reflection of where we stand, of what we inherit, of what our people tell us is worthy. So maybe the lip plate is not just about Africa. Maybe it is about all of us. A reminder that beauty is not one face, one shape, or one tradition. It is many. And perhaps the real beauty lies not in the plate, or the lipstick, or the heel, but in the freedom to choose what makes us whole. And maybe you're still wondering, with a lip plate stretching the mouth so wide, how do they eat? The answer is simple but fascinating. The plate is often removed during meals, and food is eaten normally. Some even learn to eat with the plate in, a skill passed down like the tradition itself. And what about the men? Among the Mursi and Surma, lip plates are worn only by women. For men, beauty and status are shown differently, through scarification, cattle ownership, or their strength in battle and ceremony. The lip plate in many ways is the crown of womanhood. But beyond the questions of how and who lies the lesson. Every culture defines beauty in its own way. What seems strange to one people is sacred to another. The lip plate teaches us that beauty is not fixed. It is fluid, cultural, and deeply human. To mock it is to miss its meaning. To understand it is to see the resilience of a people who turned clay into a living symbol of identity. For the Mursi and Surma, the lip plate is not just clay, not just tradition. It is a story pressed against the skin of pride, resilience, and the unbroken echo of Africa's heritage. If you found this history as fascinating as I did, subscribe to History Echoes for more stories from the heart of humanity. Because the past is never gone, it whispers, waiting for us to listen.